Welcome back, photography enthusiasts. In our last video, we talked about the art of seeing, how to find inspiration and tell stories with your camera. But what happens when you have a beautiful vision, yet your photos just don't turn out the way you imagined? Often, the missing piece is a solid understanding of the technical fundamentals. Today, we're diving deep into the heart of photography, the exposure triangle. We'll demystify aperture, shutter speed, and ISO, and show you how mastering these three elements will give you complete creative control over your images. Whether you're a beginner struggling with blurry photos or an experienced shooter looking to refine your technique, this video is for you. Let's unlock the full potential of your camera. At its core, photography is about capturing light, and the exposure triangle is the fundamental concept that governs how your camera collects that light. Imagine your camera as a bucket and light as water. There are three ways to control how much water gets into your bucket: the size of the opening, which is aperture, how long the opening stays open, which is shutter speed, and how sensitive your bucket is to the water, which is ISO. Let's break down each one. First up is aperture, often represented as an F number like f/2.8, f/8, or f/16. Think of aperture as the pupil of your eye. It's the opening in your lens that lets light in. A smaller F number means a wider opening, letting in more light. A larger F number means a smaller opening, letting in less light. But aperture does more than just control brightness. It also dictates your depth of field. This is the amount of your image that appears in sharp focus. A wide aperture creates a shallow depth of field, blurring the background and making your subject pop, perfect for portraits. A narrow aperture creates a deep depth of field, keeping everything from foreground to background in sharp focus, ideal for landscapes. Remember, small f number means more light and a blurry background. Large f number means less light and everything in focus. Next, we have shutter speed measured in fractions of a second. This is how long your camera's shutter remains open, exposing the sensor to light. A fast shutter speed means the shutter opens and closes very quickly, letting in less light but freezing motion. This is essential for capturing fast-moving subjects like sports or wildlife. A slow shutter speed means the shutter stays open longer, letting in more light but introducing motion blur. This can be used creatively to show movement, like silky smooth waterfalls or light trails from cars at night. Just remember, for slow shutter speeds, a tripod is your best friend to avoid camera shake. Fast shutter speed freezes motion. Slow shutter speed creates blur. Finally, we come to ISO, which represents your camera sensor's sensitivity to light. Lower ISO values mean less sensitivity, requiring more light but producing the cleanest, most detailed images with minimal digital noise. This is your go-to for bright conditions. Higher ISO values mean greater sensitivity, allowing you to shoot in low-light conditions without a flash. However, the trade-off is increased digital noise or graininess in your photos. Modern cameras handle high ISO much better, but it's always a balance. Low ISO gives the best quality. High ISO is useful in low light but adds noise. The real magic happens when you understand that aperture, shutter speed, and ISO are interconnected. Change one, and you often need to adjust another to maintain proper exposure. This is the exposure triangle. For example, if you want a shallow depth of field, you'll let in a lot of light. To compensate, you might need a faster shutter speed or a lower ISO. If you're shooting a fast-moving subject in low light, you'll need a fast shutter speed to freeze the action and a high ISO to compensate for the lack of light. Let's look at some scenarios. For a portrait with a shallow depth of field, set your aperture to f/2.8 or f/4 and adjust the other settings for correct exposure. For a landscape with deep depth of field, use f/11 or f/16 and a tripod if needed. For sports, prioritize a fast shutter speed of 1/1000th of a second or faster. And in low light, don't be afraid to bump up your ISO to 1600 or 3200 while opening your aperture wide. Mastering the exposure triangle is like learning the grammar of photography. Once you understand these rules, you can break them creatively and confidently. It gives you the power to translate your artistic vision into stunning, technically sound images. So, grab your camera, experiment with these settings, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn. What are your biggest challenges with the exposure triangle? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. Until next time, keep shooting and keep learning.